Hi guys, we're back on the XJ81 restoration project. Next stage is to polish the car. It's been back from the paint shop for quite a while. I'll show you, give you a quick rundown of it prior to its polishing. I decided to cut it back with 1500 or 2000 grit paper, polish it back up, and then we've got a nano ceramic polish to put on it, which I'll show you later. But we need to do that before we put the doors back on and reassemble them, etc., and we can start the rebuild of the actual body shell. So I'll give you a little rundown first of where we're up to, and I'll get back to you soon.
Before we get going with the video, I'll just show you a few stills of what happened to the bodywork before we got it painted. This was at ProTech, the people who did the welding. They did all the body repairs, this one being the bonnet catch inner wing. Got some corrosion, so it was all chopped out and replaced with new metal. Quite a nice neat repair there, quite happy with that one. This is it from the other side. The guys down there did a pretty good job, I'm quite happy with it. They did the other car as well, so yeah, did a fine job of that one. Most of the water ingress came into the front passenger footwells, and this was the repair that was needed to do in the footwell. The holes that caused the water ingress were from the A-pillars, both sides. This side you can see where the metal's corroded around the rubber grommet around the wiring loom. This was after the repair was done. The yellow stuff that you see is the wax oil that I put around there to try and help it from not happening again. That's the other side. And from there then we went to the body shop. Dave the painter decided to strip all the paint from the wings, the doors, the sunroof, the boot lid and the bonnet. Easily done because all the panels were off the car. The 4 door panels were from another car, donor car, got 4 very good door panels, so they were replaced. And here they are now, all in the paint spray, paint booth in the primer. He used a white primer, he thought it would be a better base. That's the boot lid and the bonnet. And then the main body shell was painted separately so that we could incorporate all the door edges around the bonnet, around the boot, etc. This obviously enabled us to paint around all the door edges and the bonnet and the boot surrounds as well. So it was a proper job all around. Right, back to the video.
Okay, all the doors and the wings and the boot lid, etc., are all taken off the car and painted separately to get the best possible finish on it, so we could do all the door edges, etc. The doors were stripped down completely to do a shell, as you can see. But before we could do any work on the polishing on the gloss side, we needed to wax oil all the interior of the doors. So that's all now been completed. So they're fully wax oiled inside to protect them from future corrosion. And now I'm going to start the rub down process and polishing. Right, this is the door as it's come back from the paint shop. As you can see, it looks pretty good, but there's 1 or 2 little blemishes, like this one here, for example. Another tiny little one here, some tiny bits of stuff in the paint. So that's why we're going to flat it down and re-polish it. Now we've got 2 types of paper. We've got 2000s, we've got 1500s, rubbing block. We've got some fast cut plus polish, which is what we're going to polish it back with our eccentric polishing machine here. So I'll get on with that process and I'll get back to you as we go along. Okay, that's the sanding process done. As you can see, I've stayed away from the edges because I don't want to polish through an edge. But as you can see, the marks that were here have now gone. There's 1 or 2 other marks. That's feeling nice and smooth now. So Let's see now if we can get the polished finish back on it. Right, I've got the polished finish back up now. I'm feeling as I go really with regards to how far I can go with it, but I think I've pretty much brought it back to where it needs to be for the final polishing coat. I'm going to do the back door now and just confirm that that's where we're up to, and then it means I've just got to crack on with the rest of the car. I just thought I'd do a little side-by-side comparison to see the difference between the one that's been polished and the one that hasn't. And I'm not sure whether you can see it on the camera, but there is quite a big difference. I don't know whether you can see, if you look carefully, you can see the orange peel and everything in there. Whereby, if we look at the one that's been done, you see there isn't any. So, well, it does seem like quite a task. It is beneficial for sure. I'm really quite pleased that I decided to do it in the end. You see, difficult for you to tell with this camera, but you really can see a difference when you've done it. So yeah, there you go. So I've got the second one. The polishing's going well. I'll just take you and give you a quick rundown of where we're up to. Right, here we are. All the panel work's been done now, apart from the bonnet and the roof panel. Just waiting for some new microfiber cloths to arrive before I can complete those. But when they're done, the car will be ready for rebuild. So I'll get back to you when those two panels are done, and I'll give you a quick look at how it's come out. Hi, right, I'm just about to start on the bonnet. It's a rather daunting prospect, to be quite honest with you, because it's such a large affair. However, you can see or not, a few little swirl marks, a little bit of orange peel in there. So we'll see what we can do. I'll report back after the sanding stage. Right, I've done the flattening down. I've used 2000 grit. Tried to stay away from the edges and the creases as much as possible. Got rid of as many blemishes as possible. Took down the orange peel a bit. At this stage it's not looking very pretty, but now we've done that, we're going to start doing small sections. I'm going to probably split this bonnet into 4. We're going to use the Fast Cut Plus first with the rough pad, and then go to the fine later. So I'll get back to you when we've done the first pass. Right, here we are, a good few hours later it feels like. After the first stage of the bonnet polishing, so sanded down, and then we've buffed it up with the rougher grade. So we've got it back flat again now. So now we're going to hit it with the, well, after I've had a bite to eat, we're going to hit it with a fine polish and bring that luster up. Okay, see them. Okay, 5 hours later, we have the bonnet ready for its ceramic nano coating. 5 hours to do a bonnet is quite a long time, but she's come up very well. I'm quite happy. Still 1 or 2 tiny mini blemishes, but there comes a point where you've got to say enough is enough, and that for me is good enough quality. So we'll carry on now. I'm going to do the boot now and take it from there. Right, here we are, all done. Microfiber cloths arrived a couple of days later. All the bodywork is now finished. and we can start the rebuild job. I'll just give you a quick lowdown. There's one or two little blemishes and little marks that I'm not completely happy with, but on the whole it's okay. We'll sort those little bits and pieces out when it's all back together. They're all bits that can be accessed once it's all put back together. The next stage of the operation is to start rebuilding the door apertures. One of the reasons I wanted to get the polishing done first is because I wanted to put the polish on all the door surrounds before anything went on, to make sure that it's all protected prior to any rubbers and trims going on. So all down the door apertures are done. The sill tread plates are all done. All the back of the car and all the sill behind the bumpers, etc. is all coated. So did all the way around the inside edges of the panel work, all around the edges of the boot, etc. So that's all been completed. So yeah, not a bad finish. Quite happy with the ZR51, is it? ZR53. Polish goes on quite well, quite nicely. So there you are, that's all sorted. All the door panels, doors are all completed. Sunroof, the rear doors, and two front wings which are down there on the roof. So like I say, now we can start rebuilding the apertures. So first thing to go on are the gutter rail trims, because they screw up underneath. Then the door rubbers. Then the carpeted, felted door aperture excuse me, door aperture finishes, and then the tread plates. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the door panels on the car and then rebuild each one at a time. I spent some of the time yesterday whilst I was waiting for the fibercloths, cleaning up all these tread plates and the gutter trims are all polished up because they're solid stainless steel. They come up really well with this Fast Cut Plus and then the extra fine finishing compound. The window surrounds are all polished up, ready to go on. So there you go, that's that. I'll show you when the door apertures are completed.